But we are going to go down to the state of Texas. At number 3, I have Texas running back Cedric Baxter. You have him at 4. Joe, a guy that did not play last year, got hurt going into the season. Texas still had a 1,000-yard rusher in Wisner a year ago, a team that struggled mightily to run the football in big games and big situations against some of the elite or more elite teams. You bring in CJ Baxter, who's coming off that ACL injury, and now I'm going to contradict myself. I still think CJ Baxter can come in here and dominate and do some really good things. I have him at 3. You have him at 4.
I feel pretty adamant about this. Watching CJ Baxter as a recruit and then watching his impact as a true freshman, I know that this guy is going to go on to be one of the most productive running backs maybe in Texas history and also in the SEC this upcoming season. They needed a hard, physical, and explosive runner like Baxter badly last year. And I know everybody points out Trey Wisner was productive. Jaden Blue had a couple of nice games. Baxter's on a different level. Wisner's a great second running back. And the fact that they tried to keep turning to him when they couldn't run the ball, it wasn't going to produce
success.
Success.
The last game against Ohio State, he had like 20 carries and 50 yards. I mean,
well, and then they just started throwing them passes out of the backfield. It was the only way that they could get them in the mix. Right. Sometimes when you're having trouble and your offensive line's not doing well, you need somebody who's not afraid of contact, that's just going to run into the mess and see if he can create something. I think that's Baxter. I think that Baxter is a total catalyst for them improving their run game in 2025. If he hadn't gotten hurt, our perspective on him would be completely different right now. We would be talking about him as one of the best players in the country. I was debating putting him on here, but when I saw that you were so willing to put him in this high, there's no reason not to go with it. We had a sample size as a true freshman of what he did.
There are a couple of reasons that I put him that high. You remember the only running back that I put in my list a year ago? Do you remember who it was?
Who was it?
Rocket Sanders. In the Big Ten and the SEC, I don't give two Rudy Poos what conference it's in. There will be games and there will be moments you are 100% spot on. Sometimes when shit's not there, you got to put your head down and you got to run through somebody's face mask. You know what else he's got? He's got a first-time starting quarterback in Arch Manning. And as much as everybody wants to beef up Arch, which we are two people who are a part of that, right? Like we are on the Arch Manning train. Joe, in these big critical games, you need a go-to running back, a bell cow that you can hand the ball off to. And Sark, even without a running game, didn't go away from the running game. Now that if he can have a running back that can run the football, you think he's going to turn away from the running game now?
Right.
Your offensive line, you're losing 4 offensive linemen if you're Texas. That might be a good thing for you. It really might, because that unit couldn't run the ball anyway. So what am I really losing in that? Listen, man, this kid will put his nose down and he will run you over. He's got enough speed to get to the outside. He can catch the football. He's good in pass protection. This kid is really talented. I do get worried. For what it's worth, I do get worried when a running back comes off an ACL injury like that. But I'm going to do what I did with Deion Burks. I'm not going to talk about the injury. If he is fully healthy, this kid can be probably and arguably the best back in the SEC.
That's the biggest key here. Deion Burks, I'm being a little bit projection oriented, and there's not enough big game context to actually be able to sit here with Burks. It's like there's just not enough exposure. CJ Baxter, we had that. We watched CJ Baxter, what he did as a true freshman. And I think the biggest part about this is, I forget the exact quote, but Steve Sarkisian had said that he emphasized, I think it was at a coaching clinic that he talked about this. He said that everybody likes to talk about the passing concepts and what we do in the passing game. But notice how every single year the Texans had a 1,000-yard rusher. And I think that it required a lot of force to get Trey Wisner's production this year. It required a lot of extra effort to get some of the big games that he had. Now, he played phenomenally. He was a great player. But he wants to run the football. And he wants to give the ball to CJ Baxter and to run the ball hard and to run early. And I think you just mentioned there, too, is that you've got Arch Manning. You want Arch Manning to play to his potential. The way that you help him play to his potential is by pressure not being all on his shoulders to do everything. It's let Baxter get 6 yards on first down and let the rest happen from there.
That's exactly what Rocket Sanders and Dylan Sampson did a year ago. I mean, people forget. I mean, like, look, man, sometimes you just got to put your head down and get tough yardage. I will say this. I did see that clip on Sarkisian. Sarkisian and Lane's biggest misconception about them as play callers is them running the football. Everybody thinks when they are a high-flying offense, it's all about motion, pass, throw the ball all over the place. That is dog shit. That is not true. Their main core, whether both of them being at Alabama or both of them being now head coaches, when did they have their most success? When they had explosive running backs. Judkins, I would even say not this past year, but the year before, overall, you could make the argument that they could have been a better overall team. I mean, it's just factual. And they ran the football at a very high clip and a very high rate. I am willing to put CJ Baxter there